Venezuela's opposition, the Democratic Unity Coalition, is launching a campaign to remove President Nicolas Maduro. The country is in the midst of a deep economic crisis, which the opposition says is a result of the government's failed policies. CCTV's Stephen Gibbs reports.
Since January, Venezuela's National Assembly has been opposition-controlled, following a landslide election victory last year. But the president, Nicolas Maduro, has largely ignored all the decisions of the assembly. He says it's run by a parasitic bourgeoisie. Now an increasingly frustrated opposition says the only way forward is to remove Maduro from power.
We are taking the unanimous decision to call on the Venezuelan people to launch the largest democratic movement of popular pressure that has ever existed, to activate all, I repeat, all mechanisms of change.
Those mechanisms include a referendum to recall the president, changing the constitution to shorten his term of office, and mass public demonstrations. The opposition says all three strategies will be initiated at once. Government supporters say such action would be unconstitutional.
In Venezuela, we don't govern from parliament, we govern from the presidency. And in Venezuela, there has been a presidential election. A president was elected for a constitutional period.
One thing the opposition and the government do agree on is that this is a country in economic crisis. Venezuela is in the midst of the world's steepest recession and has the world's highest inflation. Scattered anti-government protests are not uncommon here. This was the border town of San Cristobal last week. The government's critics say Venezuela's socialist economic model has failed, and that if the president refuses to accept that, he must go.
But there are plenty of obstacles to what the opposition hopes to achieve. Both the army and the Supreme Court are on the president's side, and Nicolas Maduro is insisting he will not relinquish power. Stephen Gibbs, CCTV, Caracas.